This is real good content. We should actually just drop this. I don't give a.
Normally start with a little bit of music. Try to, set the,
Set the mood. This is with my
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. No. I'm trying to slow things down here. My God.
It's about to get amped.
Yo,
Like,
yo, man. Just, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to take a break from like the heavy New York hip hop. Trying to show people, yo, I'm not this. I'm not this aggressive.
but come on, New York hip hop.
I'm not, but I don't want to be just
New York hip hop.
You know what I'm saying? I got the range.
I find you, I give you all you need. I know what you like.
Got the range, people.
You don't need no other body.
Hey. Oh.
You don't need no other body.
Hey, that's that song.
Woo.
Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body.
Hey.
You don't need no other body.
Say I made it mess up in mind, and I made it make you free up your mind.
That's it.
Say your body talk to me nice. Say now my love you didn't need for your life.
This is kind of like,
Yeah, I love you.
Uh-huh.
this is like lounge. Like, go lounge.
Yeah, if I leave you go by. Yeah, if you leave I go stroking your body, baby. Loving your body, baby. As you're whining your body, baby. So crazy. Loving your body, baby. Girl, you want it to me. I just wanna let you know. Hope every day
You don't need no other body.
Oh. Hey.
You don't need no other
Oh.
body.
Oh. Oh my God.
Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body.
Hey.
I prayed for this moment.
Let's get something else. Ooh. This right here. Hold up. Nah, you gonna love this. You gonna love
I've never heard this.
Nah, you gonna love this. Let this
Yeah?
rock. Yeah, let it rock. You gonna love this.
Got me taking my time, pressing rewind just to make the moment don't look.
That's that baby making music. Like, straight up, you put that on, fireworks happen.
She said fireworks, boys.
It's like right there, that song is.
Treat you like a lady.
Yeah, you definitely making a baby.
Yeah, put the kids to bed.
Put the kids to bed.
Oh my goodness.
Put the dog on the leash in the cage.
I don't want the dog bothering us.
I don't want the dog bothering us, trying to come into the room. And that cat, lock it in the bathroom.
Lock the cat up. Alright, just one New York hip hop joint. Just one.
I knew you had it in you.
Just
I knew
one.
you had it in you.
Ooh, baby, I like it. Ooh. Yeah, baby, I like it. Ooh, baby, I like it. Ooh. Yeah, baby, I like it. Ooh.
Shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away.
Hey.
Off on the natural trombone voyage. Yeah, from the home of the Dodge and Brooklyn squad. Who take the beats on the swarm? Rain on your college ass disco dorm. For you to even touch my skill, you gotta go to one killer bee and he ain't gonna kill now. Chop that down, pass it all around. Lyrics get hard quick.
You know when you haven't heard a song in a minute?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yo, you're just like, damn. I feel like it takes you back to the last time you heard it. You were just like, yo.
I was young the last time I heard this.
Man.
So yesterday.
Oh my God. My word, my stars.
Yes. I
Yes.
always love a good music
Man.
intro.
Right? I feel like it's so necessary.
Yes.
It sets
the mood.
yes,
sets the tone.
you need it. You need it. You know what I'm saying?
Gets the audience ready.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like, yeah, and that's really what it does. It's just like, all
Exactly.
right, this is
Like-
this is what we hear.
Yeah, when I do my podcast, I actually sometimes I'll play a
You
church song.
Are you already plugging
Yeah, already plug in.
Are you already? All right. Let me do my intro. I'll let you plug away. Holy shit. This guy's already.
I didn't mean to. It's just we were talking about music playing at the beginning, and I sometimes do the same thing.
Yeah.
But mine is mostly gospel.
It's like, I sometimes do the same thing on my podcast. That's completely unrelated from this. Like, yo. Oh my God.
This is about to be shenanigans.
Fucking shenaniganville. All right. Welcome all to episode number... welcome all to episode number 58 of the What Are We Talking About podcast. I am your host, Izzy, and today I have with me a very special guest. I can't say that without laughing. I'm sorry. Good friend of mine, my brother of over 10 years. Yo, man, over a decade strong. Bro, I met you when I was like 18, 19. I'm in my 30s.
You're old now.
Yeah, no, I'm creeping on dusty. All right, I am creeping on dusty, good sir.
So wait, if you're creeping on dust, what am I already dust?
Yeah.
You know what? Never mind.
I will say. So, first off, Dion Sage is in the house.
Yes. How's everybody doing out there?
Yo, so Dion Sage is here. First off, because I can imagine that this episode, and because I thought about this when I asked you to be here. I was like, yo, I'm going to have, because every time I had like different guests, I always get new viewers. Mm-hmm. So it's new people tuning in because they tune in for the guest, and then they maybe become fans of me, which is great. Right. And then they maybe tune into the show, and that's just kind of how that goes. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, I'm going to have a lot of members of the LGBTQIA+. Mm-hmm.
You got it. Yes.
I'm going to have a lot of members of that community listening to this pod for the first time. Mm-hmm. And I need all of them to know and understand that my treatment of you is not at all a reflection of the treatment of that community. All right? I need y'all to know that what I may say to him and how I treat him is not a reflection of how I
want to make it very known to the heterosexual community that I may say some things to Izzy that is no status of how I feel about him or anything like that. But
it needs to be, because in my mind I was just like, yo.
We have to have that disclaimer.
Because the reason why I need that disclaimer, because in my mind I was thinking to myself, like, yo, like Dion, because I have gay friends, right? I have a bunch of gay friends. It's great and all that stuff. I think you might be the only gay friend that I have whom I like am close enough to where I like I'm like I could just say it raw and just like really like
that's true.
I could punch at your gayness. I punch at your gayness very frequently.
Yes.
Like so much so that I think even now when I talk to like our mutual friends, I say gay Dion and they're like, "Do you know other Dions?" I'm like, "No, I don't know another Dion actually. I don't know any other Dions actually.
Well,
but that's forever my.
You know what? Now
Dion.
that I know that, from now on, we'll refer to Izzy as straight Izzy.
You okay? But I mean, there's got to be a bunch of Izzies in the community. Though,
you know, no. Well, I mean, I know people that like to be called Izzy, but literally, like, you're the only one I call Izzy because of the fact that, like, that's how I was introduced to you. One, and you know what? To be honest with you, it's weird saying your name.
Well, yeah, but everyone feels that way. No one uses my name. But what I will say though is it like, so is Izzy just like a popular name in the community where like there's like a gay man whose name is Franklin, but he's just like, no, call me Izzy. No.
I haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't met anyone named Izzy in the community. I'm pretty sure they're out there. However, I do know people whose name are like Ishmael.
Like, yeah. Call me Izzy.
Call me Izzy or whatever. Or,
okay.
Like that. You know.
I just for a second there, you just made it seem like Izzy is just like a very poppin' name, or it's just like like I want to be Izzy because it's very.
I'll be honest. You're probably.
It's like
you're probably the coolest Izzy I know.
Well, thank you.
You're probably because some of them are just.
Well, yeah. I mean,
pretentious.
I mean, as us Izzies can be, as us Izzies can be, you know. Cheers! I am happy you are here.
Yes, salute. I'm already like sitting here like. You should already know. Yeah.
So, how are you, Queen? Do I call you Queen? Is that how I address you? How should I? You see, because shit like that, I can't do that to my other gay friends.
I'm glad you said Queen and you didn't say a queen, because I am the queen. Well, I have a tiara to prove. No, I'm joking.
Oh.
But no, it's crazy because like so. Recently, I just had my drag debut.
Yes,
Yes.
You showed me photos of it, and again, first off, I'm like tremendously happy, and also enormously surprised that it hasn't happened before. Because in my mind, I was just like, yo, because it seemed like you skipped a step a few times there, where I was just like, yo, this boy is in like just wild glam shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then today you tell me, yeah, I just had my drag debut.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait, what?
So I've always been the type to like as a gay cisgendered man to do androgyny, like because Prince is one of my favorite artists ever, of all time, and I really love the fact that like Prince was unapologetically like non-gender conforming.
Yeah,
I kind of appreciate that. I've always liked that, but I think the big thing for me is, like you said, me for 10 years. You remember when I was in the closet, and denying my sexuality, and everybody was trying to pull me out, and then I finally came out, and the big thing for everybody was when I was Mr. Gay Rhode Island in 2013. That was big.
Humble flex.
Listen,
so humble about it. So humble.
You know why? I'm coming up on 10 years of doing work in the LGBTQIA plus community. 10 years where it's been like solidified. It's been more than 10 years, but 10 years where people have actually recognized some of the work that I've done in the community, and also appreciate it. And now it's like I'm at the cusp, and now I'm realizing Izzy, I'm at a point in my life where there are young people who are Black and brown in the LGBTQIA plus community, who view me as an icon, as a legend in the community, because of the work that I've done and things like that. So when I decided to do drag this week, like literally it's something that I've wanted to do for a while. Let me experience it. I think everybody should experience doing drag one time, because it literally is like a freeing like experience. You get to literally, I got to pretend I was Whitney Houston for the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also I think the big thing that was appreciative was a lot of the younger queens of color came up to me after I performed, and they said, we truly appreciate what you're doing. We truly appreciate the work and things like that. So like that gave me fuel. Like, and somebody said to me on my Facebook post, yeah, get all those dollars. And I was like, it's not about the dollars. Really.
No.
It's not about the dollars.
But I mean, I think that it's one of those things I feel like where for some people it is,
mm-hmm.
so it's easy for them to view it that way. Because I mean, I think, as someone who like, I create content and
mm-hmm.
I, do this stuff, and people view it as just like, oh, like, you're doing it like, oh, you're doing it for the dollars. I'm like, not really. I'm doing it for the few people or however many people that it helps.
It's crazy because so I'm also an ordained minister now.
Yes.
Through my church, Powerhouse Church of Boston. And something that my pastor has said, he said, when you chase money, you end up losing money. But when you chase purpose, the money's going to follow you. And since he said that, like, I've literally been chasing purpose, mm-hmm. and I'm not going to sit there and say, like, oh, I have a big bank account or anything, but my bills have been able to get paid. I've been able to take care of myself in a proper way and all this stuff, even though, like, not working full time. But since I've been doing the podcasting, community outreach and stuff like that, it's like I'm going to chase the things that what is my purpose, and what I'm supposed to be doing, talking to people, encouraging people, things like that. And I think we get so caught up because we're a capitalistic society in the dollar sign.
Yeah.
And we don't get caught up in like, what are you really here for? Because there's a bunch of, as well as I know, there's a bunch of people who are miserable at their jobs because they're chasing money and not purpose.
Well, I mean, I think that's where when you chase purpose and when you chase purpose and you're not willing to compromise your authentic self, you can't be bought. Mm-hmm. You're not, like, at that point, you're not for sale.
Right.
And I think that's what becomes very important.
Like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. It's like, yo, I'm not for sale.
Although I'm not supposed to talk about Dave Chappelle.
What is your feelings on Dave Chappelle?
I love Dave Chappelle.
Really?
I love Dave Chappelle. Although Dave Chappelle, I wish he knows and understands like what TERFs do when he declared himself a TERF.
But I mean, I also feel so. All right, as someone who is, and it's funny, so like, because I have a
mm-hmm.
good friend. I have actually a really good friend of mine who's trans, and like he and I talk about Dave Chappelle. He's not a fan of Dave Chappelle. Mm-hmm. He's not a fan of him. He's just like, and it's one of those. It's comfortable to be able to like.
So
have
I have
those
a question.
Kind of conversations.
Is that friend a person of color or are they white?
No, they're white.
They're white. Well,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well,
No, and it makes sense. And here's why it makes sense. And I know I'm going to get some flack from this from the LGBTQ community, but I don't care because right now we're in literally a race struggle within our own community. And I'm going to say just like this: at the end of the day, Dave Chappelle's point about white people in the LGBT community calling cops on a straight black man, that wouldn't happen with me. That wouldn't happen. I couldn't call the cops on you if you did something to me because of the fact that I know what happens when the cop shows up. They're not looking. Oh, you're black. I'm like, it's not about LGBT.
It's because you're black before you're gay.
Exactly.
And I think like that's that's for sure. And
exactly.
I think that's where like I don't argue with my friend as far as like like you got because I think that's where with Dave Chappelle, I can relate to Dave Chappelle because the message that he's putting across isn't a message of hate, of not caring. It's a message of I don't understand, but I am willing to learn if you're willing to teach me.
But I agree, and that's what I said. I like my view when he called himself a turf. I simply said just like this, I wish Dave would have sat down with somebody so they can really explain to you what a turf is. Because a turf, literally, they say they stand up for women's rights, but at the same time, they go out of their way to bash transgender women.
No, and honestly, that's where
that's wrong.
And that's where for me, when like I didn't know the magnitude of what a turf was until I talked to my boy who's trans. He was just like, nah, that turf shit is whack. Like, nah. Like, and he put me on. I was like, all right. And that's where for me, I'm like, yeah, like, that's where again it made total sense to me that in Dave Chappelle's next stand-up, he talks about his transgender friend who like sadly took her own life and all of that,
who was attacked by other transgendered people in the community.
And it's and again people again try to vilify Dave, saying, well, now you're no different than the white person who's saying, look at my black friend. And he's just like, no, like I'm trying to tell y'all that like I'm doing what I can to learn about this. Like,
now, don't get me wrong, and I will say this because I have nieces and nephews in the community who are transgender, and I even myself have had to learn pronouns within the past couple of years, and proper pronouns to the point now where like my pronouns are he and they. When I'm out in drag, it's they, but like he is like when I'm at work, I'm a he, point blank period. But when I'm out in the community, they do say they, and I don't mind they. And don't get me wrong, my close friends, they'll say she, but that's when we're just joking around, playing around, Like, yeah, she old as dirt, baby. Like, you know what I mean? Her social security number is 1, baby.
Oh, my God.
Things like that. But let me just say this, Izzy, I'm happy to be here, by the way.
I'm happy to have you.
It's been a while, and we go back. But we were talking about a memory, and I wanted to bring this memory up. You remember Booger Tyson?
Yeah, all right. So we did talk about this a little bit pre mics being on and everything, pre-show starting. Yeah, so shout out to just collegiate DECA in general and like and them fucking just assisting a bunch of kids in college to go to like places
and just have a bunch of foolishness.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a bunch of foolishness. We learned a lot.
We learned a lot, but like, man, there was a lot of foolishness too. And so Dion and I'll be honest too.
This is my first time in New York, by the way. The story is about to tell. This is my first time ever to New York, and I didn't think I wanted to go back after that.
I didn't know, and it was funny too because me being born and raised in New York, I was just like, yo, bet, like I'm going back home. Like this is gonna be dope. Dion's like, yeah, it's my first time in New York, so I don't know what to expect. I'm excited and all that stuff. And I was like, you never been to New York? Like, we about to stay in like Manhattan too. Like, we staying like right up the street from Times Square near Madison Square Garden. Like, it's gonna be dope. He's just like, yeah.
It was dope.
It was dope.
Until we got on the D train.
And we got on the D train. We were going to, I think we were going to Yankee Stadium.
Yes, we were going to Yankee Stadium.
We were going to Yankee Stadium. Part of the whole Collegiate DECA conference thing is you go and you pick a different track. And as part of your track, kind of like your career path, they kind of like send you around to like different like adventures. You're just like fucking completing missions in New York.
Yeah, that's all it was. It was like literally. And you had, and like if you saw a hot dog stand, you had to grab a hot dog.
Yeah, it was like a fucking just giant
pizza
mission.
was like 50 points.
Yeah, it was wild. That's really what it was. So part of that was both Dion and I, we did the sports. It was like sports entertainment.
Yeah,
sports entertainment marketing, something like that. and event marketing, something along those lines. Part of that was you get to go to Yankee Stadium, you got to take a tour of Yankee Stadium, right? So we're going from Manhattan, literally like Madison Square Garden. So we're going from like Penn Station. We're going from there to the Bronx to Yankee Stadium. Now they gave us all instructions on how to get there. These instructions were fucking horrible. And when I read the instructions, being a New Yorker, I was like, I'm not fucking following this.
I remember that. Yeah, you did say, I'm not following these directions.
I'm not following these directions.
You're like, follow me. And I said, oh, we're following Izzy.
Yeah, because it was like, you're going to take this train, you're going to go down here, and then from there, you're going to go there. I was like, yo, fam, look, we taking the D train. I don't care if it goes through the hood, because that's really why they didn't want us on the
Now we know why.
So we get on the train, and we go in. We've left the pack, so we're not really amongst advisors anymore. We're amongst the people of New York.
Mm-hmm.
And Dion had his first experience of the people.
So,
of
all right, I'm going to say this, okay? Listen, I understand, and let me tell you, I don't really talk ill about anybody or anybody's situation or anything like that, but there was a man on the train eating a rotisserie chicken and okay? And, it's not the fact he was eating some rotisserie chicken and some rice, you know what I mean? I was kind of hungry at that moment myself.
I'm not going to lie. I still remember the smell of that rotisserie chicken vividly. I remember the smell of that rotisserie chicken because again, it's like you're getting the very how do you say PP smell on the train. You're getting that because
what's that French?
Yeah,
PP.
You're getting that on the train because you're on a fucking New York subway. But that interwoven with like fresh rotisserie chicken was like the wildest aroma that will never remove. It created a core memory. Like it's there.
It's there. It did create a core memory.
Yeah, it was
visual and smell. Like literally, the smell, the feel, the atmosphere, like everything. I will never forget it, and I'll never forget while he was eating his rotisserie chicken and rice with his bare hands, no utensils. Not a spoon. And it was great, I mean, let me tell you, there's been plenty of times where I've picked up meat off the grill and just ate it like caveman style.
Yeah.
But it was the fact that he literally said, "Nobody better mess with me." Well, he said, "Nobody better, excuse my language, fuck with me," right? And then he threw like literally the best jab combination I've ever seen anybody throw, and we all sat there and looked at it. Yeah, we are definitely not going to mess with this man. But what happened next? Made me never to want to ride the subway in New York ever again. And when I do ride the subway in New York, I can't touch anything. Yeah. Okay, I can't touch it. I don't want to sit down. Don't touch me. Don't walk by me. Don't look at me. But this man literally held one nostril, and out of the other nostril blew out a entire snot that went all the way from his nose down to the floor.
Yo, like a string.
Like a string.
Yeah.
And then he wiped it, and it flickered on our friend's sweatpants.
Yo.
We couldn't get off that train fast enough, I'm telling you right now. We could not get off that subway fast enough.
It was the wildest shit ever. And again, in my New York sensibilities, I was entirely unfazed.
That didn't top it off for me. That wasn't okay, that's a one. But
yeah.
But the real thing that topped it off, the real thing that topped it off, New York, please get your rat population under control.
Yo, now they out there, man. Yo.
Listen, when a rat rolls up on you ready to steal your wallet and shank you with a knife, you know you got a problem.
Yo, the rats in New York are insane. They have respect in the streets. I will say,
they out there like we own these streets.
Yeah, no, they paid their dues.
Yeah.
The rats have paid their dues. They're just like, listen, man, like you just visiting here. You mean like don't mind your business. Yeah.
Mind your whole business, and they let me know that real quick because that one looked at me and he ran at me. I jumped on the bench. I didn't think it was gonna jump on the bench. No, it jumped right on the bench.
Nah, New York rats they're fearless. They are like just super fearless. They're a different breed of rat. I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced of it.
I'm good.
I was
Give me a rat from the south side of Providence any day.
Yo. Yeah, that was such a fucking It was so great though. Like this is your first time in New York. I love this.
That was my first. But you know what? The crazy thing is, like I tell people, I love New York to visit. I love New York to visit. I've been after that. I've been multiple times, and I love to shop out there in New York. But like once I mean, the rats are not. It's just the rats.
It's just the rats.
It's just the rats.
I mean, I just think as someone who's now lived in Rhode Island for over 10 years, I'm just like, yeah, no, like I like it here now.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely enjoy Providence more than New York, for sure. Like, it's cozy.
It is cozy. We're getting a lot of New Yorkers moving here to Providence.
Well, I'll be, because again, and I think I've always realized that the people who quote unquote hate Rhode Island or hate Providence are people who've never lived anywhere else.
That's true.
So me being born and raised in New York, I'm just like, nah, this is dope.
Or visited anywhere else.
Yeah,
you'll be surprised how many people have lived in Providence but never left the state.
No, like maybe to Boston, maybe to Boston,
maybe to Hartford, and that's as far as I've gone.
It's like that's really where it is. Like they haven't really gone elsewhere to really see what it's like elsewhere.
It's true.
So what are we even talking about? We actually have topics
New York.
that we will get. We actually have topics that we were going to be getting into. So the first topic that I wanted to kind of get into, both of us being content creators, I wanted to talk about just kind of like the biggest name in our field right now, I guess you can say, which is Joe Rogan, and all of what he's going through and what's going on there.
So I will be honest, you sent me Joe Rogan's name. I looked directly at another topic that I can't wait till we get to, but fill me in on Joe Rogan. So
Joe Rogan, all right. So,
and I can definitely give you an opinion. Give me the snip. I can do the snippets.
Yeah. I mean, so Joe Rogan, there was, first a rant of him using the N-word, which, yeah. There was also just backlash about him having some very kind of people who are widely considered unsavory, I would say, on his podcast. Which, I mean, I will say Joe Rogan is one of those people whose podcast is built on the fact he's like, yeah, like I will talk to anyone, whatever side they're on, and we'll just have a conversation. I want to hear what the fuck it is you're talking about.
I mean, here's my thing. When we're doing this and we're doing this work, the podcasting and things like that. Like, I have Coffee with D, which is going to be launching back soon, and then I also have the progress report. Yes, plug in, bang, plug.
yo, the plug king over here.
Yes.
Yo.
Like Coffee with D is different from progress report. Progress report is more. I interview politicians and things like that. But Coffee with D, I get to be my raw, authentic self. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we're doing this work, I think we have to be cognizant and mindful of how hard, because personally, like, Candace Owens has a lot to say, but I'm not going to have her on my podcast. That's somebody I just don't want to hear out. Especially, and the reason, and there's multiple reasons. If you agree with Candace Owens or you don't, but I don't agree with Candace Owens because of the fact that she literally got her money playing the race card. She was
100%.
She's playing the race card. Okay. Some white guys called her the N-word, and she went the NAACP, sued them, and was able to go to college. Then went to college, got married to a white man. Now all of a sudden she's a conservative. Bitch, please.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't have time for you, and I don't have time for anything that you say. You know what I mean? I would have this person on because of the ratings. It will be hilarious, and I would love to give them a piece of my mind. Former
oh my god.
I'd love to have him on.
Man. So Joe Rogan.
But no, and then him saying, and then you're telling me him saying the N-word. This is not the first time we've heard of radio hosts or podcasters using the N-word that are
No, it's not. Well, it's also I'm almost certain too that it's not the first time that he's ever said it on the air. I think what we're seeing with Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan is someone who got into podcasting before anyone even knew what the fuck it was. He got into it at like ground zero, and was just doing it, just having conversations with people, working all these other jobs because he's an announcer for the UFC and he had TV shows and he's doing all these other stand-up comedy. He's doing all these other things, and he's also just like, I'm just doing also this podcasting thing. Like, why not? And grew it to be the #1 podcaster in the world. without ever like signing a contract with anyone. So
Mhm.
there's no one to hold him accountable,
Right.
right? So what honestly for me, the way that I perceive the whole thing is just like, yo, it's no surprise to me that within a few years of Joe Rogan signing a contract for $100 million with Spotify
Mhm.
and being this, you know, the most highest paid podcaster and all that stuff, it's like, yeah, you're now under
Mhm.
a much like finer magnifying glass because you now are part of an entity.
Right.
Because the issues were, because again, people going to Joe Rogan's doorstep saying, hey, you can't do this. Joe Rogan's like, I've been doing this for like fucking over 10 years. Like,
Mhm.
fuck you. Like, I don't
Mhm.
give a fuck what
Right.
y'all think.
Right.
Right? Because I've never cared what y'all think. But now people are taking that smoke to Spotify, and now Rogan has to respond.
Right.
Because it's like, well, you signed with us,
Mhm.
and now people are coming to us. You're bringing smoke to our doorstep.
Mhm.
And people, you know, there were artists who were taking their music off of Spotify
Mhm.
because of Rogan. There were people who were saying,
I took myself off of Spotify.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this podcast is still on Spotify. I'm not even going to.
No, I will say this. I mean, I love Spotify, but you know,
Wherever you listen is where you gonna listen to this fucking thing. You hear me? I look at the numbers. People listening on Spotify, this shit gonna be there. All right?
you know what? I hear that. Look at the numbers.
Like maybe when this shit take off, maybe I'll be like, hey, fuck you, Spotify. But for now, y'all are great in my book. Right?
I didn't say fuck you, Spotify. I didn't say that. I want to make that very clear. I did not say that.
Look at you.
I did not say that.
Look at you moonwalking.
I ain't moonwalking.
Look at you.
I ain't
Look at you
moonwalking. That's letting y'all know. You know, that's what you call a political move right there.
Look at you.
You know.
That's a pivot?
That's a pivot.
That's a pivot?
I learned from the best, Hillary Clinton.
You pivoting in them heels? So yeah, yo, you never seen a man pivoting heels before? Yo.
I mean, I watched Hillary pivot in heels.
You ain't never. Hey, cheers, brother. Cheers, good sir. Man. All right. We gonna move on. We could talk about some shit here. What are we even talking? All right. We just gonna get into some shit. While we're on the topic of politics. Did you read the story that was being spread about Joe Biden providing crack pipes to the community as an effort to help people more safely consume the crack? So because oddly enough, I had this on my list for last week, but I was just like, you know what, nah, Dion coming, so I'm gonna
okay.
pause.
So here's what I'm. Okay. All right. Precious Lord, take my hand. Okay. First, let me just say there is a national initiative for people to be able to consume their drugs and narcotics in a safe way.
Yes,
and those ways we've seen that in Boston, like places like Boston. Boston now has what's called hubs where people can, with the right medical staff around, counselors, things like that, people can do their drugs in a safe space. I don't know and I don't understand what pipe Joe Biden smoked, but why would you a history of this government, if in the black and brown community we believe, and it's been argued that the government put crack in the neighborhood, and now you have a president who's a Democrat like, oh, I'm gonna give y'all crack pipes too.
But so here's the thing though, so here's what I'm still trying to figure out, and I've been trying to do my due diligence on it. I don't know how accurate it is that it's actually crack pipes just being handed out like fucking like turkeys on Thanksgiving. Like, I mean, because from my understanding, it seems like
was it like an Oprah show? You get a crack pipe. You get a crack pipe. You get a crack pipe. I don't know what's going on.
So, and this is where I think for me, I fucking hate the fact that there is no such thing as like just impartial news anymore, because Fox News is saying, yo, Biden giving out crack pipes. And then like...
And they were the first ones in line.
Oh, man. They were like, we got to test them. We have a...
Laura Ingraham was like, I'm here. I'm here.
Who said crack pipes?
Who said
it? Who said it? This is for everyone, right? We're not even doing ID checks, right?
No ID checks, right? No,
Yeah.
you have to be a citizen? Because I'm going to send my... What? I'm sorry, Laura Ingraham looks like she...
I will 100% be bleeping out anything that might be considered offensive.
I'm sorry, Laura Ingraham looks like she would purposely... Just saying.
So it seems like... And
not saying it's right.
From my... It seems like it's like it's one of those situations where the left is reporting something different than the right.
Mm-hmm.
And
always.
And that's the part that gets annoying to me because for me, I'm just like, yo, I just want to know if there's crack pipes. Like, are there crack pipes?
You know what I've gotten into watching? Literally, BBC World News.
Ooh.
You know why I've gotten into what? Because you hear that they're like, in America today, President Joe Biden has decided, and they have that entire accent where it's America, I don't give a fuck.
Yo, the shit that I love about BBC, honestly, what I love about any other country reporting on America is they report on America like it's a fucking Netflix series. Like, in this season of America, the president of the United States calls for his followers to take down the Capitol. Like, oh shit. Like, yo, this season is going crazy. What? Like, a siege on the Capitol. Like,
stay tuned. Stay tuned for a reflection of our next episode.
Yo, like, it's literally, like, that's 100% how they fucking report on it. It's
America, and you know what? You're right. When you sit down and look at it, it's like America's become a reality show and literally become a joke. I mean, and you know what? And people consider say, "Oh, that's Donald Trump's fault," but no, Joe Biden's doing the same thing.
I mean, but I think that's where, in general,
can we be real for a second? Can I be real for a second? Can I be real? Give me 10 seconds of being real.
All right, go for it.
All right,
shoot your shot.
Joe Biden is past retirement age. Why is he making decisions? Why is he making decisions? Why do we have, and this is what bothers me, you have Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, you have Mitch McConnell, you have all these people making decisions over what's going to happen for our generation. You know, they're talking about they're not going to have retirement anymore, but all of them can get retirement.
They're retired. Yeah, I'm with you. Honestly, I do feel like there really should be age, and that's where again you ageism. You can't.
I mean, is it ageism? I mean, is it ageism? Because, like, let me be real. My grandmother is around Joe Biden's age. I could not imagine my grandmother literally being president of the United States. What? And it's not insulting her intelligence or anything like that.
No.
It's that at this point in your life, you're getting to the golden years of the golden years of your life, and I watch my grandmother, both my grandmothers and my great grandmother, when they're around the family, it's like that's what they want to do. That's where they want to be. You know.
But I mean, I think that's where. So that's where I think because I have issues with that idea of just like, yeah, like you can be that. You can't be that old and be president. And I feel that way about whether you're Democrat or Republican.
I agree.
Because there is an age limit for how young you can be as a president. I believe it's like 35. Yes. You can't be younger than 35 and be president.
But either one of us could have out-debated Joe Biden or Donald Trump on that stage.
But what I don't... So the thing is, what I don't understand is, like, if you can have a minimum age, why
can't we have
can't you have a maximum age?
Right.
Like, honestly, for me, the way that I view being president and like the level of stress and like all that stuff, like if you look at Barack Obama, year 1 versus year 8, like that alone should let you know how much
he aged quickly.
How much 8 years of a presidency can fucking destroy you. Which is why I truly do feel like the maximum age of a president should not be more than 50.
Really? I would say 60. I would 60, 65.
I don't want you
my thing is if retirement age is 65, right?
But if you go into it at 60, you're going to come out of it at 68.
Not necessarily. 4 years, 1 term. You know who's still eligible to be president of the United States if they decided to run?
Whom?
Jimmy Carter.
I'm not doing this with you. I'm not playing this game with you. I'm not. I refuse. I refuse.
He only did 1 term. He still has, if he does 1 more term, then he has his 2 terms and he's done.
Yo.
Jimmy Carter or Donald Trump?
don't make me vote in this election. Please. Don't make me vote.
What if that was the?
But like that's the problem. Just like why is it not more encouraged to like have someone in their 50s?
I was excited when Pete Buttigieg announced and then quickly regretted it because of the fact that he didn't have any black friends. And literally mayonnaise was too spicy for him. But I really thoroughly enjoyed in that election and during that time. I enjoyed Andrew Yang.
Yeah,
he was the only one making sense.
Andrew Yang was awesome. I say Andrew Yang is awesome, not because I know anything about Andrew Yang's politics, because I didn't follow it at all. And I will say, I think for me, it's not that I didn't follow because like I didn't give a shit. It's more so like I just didn't give a shit about politics. Because I think once I've like made my fucking like existence move away from politics, I've tried not to be so heavily like.
But you were good at it. Izzy.
I was, bro. I remember people telling me like, "Yo, like I would put money into a campaign if you ran." It's like, "Yo, I don't want this. I just don't. I don't want this life. I'm good. I'm good."
Yeah.
But the thing about Andrew Yang, which is why I will say I would have voted for Andrew Yang, was that he called his supporters the Yang Gang. And that alone, from a marketing standpoint, is amazing. I am part of the Yang Gang.
You know what? I was part of the Yang Gang.
I'm part of the Yang. I'm down with the Yang Gang.
I'm down with the Yang Gang.
Because I remember even somebody at my job, they had a mug that said Yang Gang. And I'm like, yo, I'm with it. I too.
And he was offering everybody $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
What?
Down with the Yang Gang.
What happened to us, America? Y'all didn't want $1,000 a month? He was the only one offering that.
Man.
Y'all lost y'all mind.
Because, I mean, people, I will say, though, I think if he would have said this post-stimulus check era, because that's also, like, what it is. Free stimulus checks, people didn't believe the idea that the government could just give us all money. They didn't believe it. And the thing that gets me is I think I've talked about it on this podcast, where in olden times, it used to be that you would barter goods.
It's true.
Right? So the man with the most goats, what's the richest man in town? Because I have the most things to barter. Right? Like, I'm going to give you a goat, you give me your horse and buggy. I'm going to give you a goat and you give me this. Like, I have the most chips. Right? And then the government was like, all right, like, this is getting a little wild. We need something that we can control. All right, gold coins. Gold. Gold. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take all the gold.
Shillings.
And we're going to make shillings and we're going to make gold coins. And we're going to do all this shit. And we're going to distribute it. So it'd be like, all right, like we're going to take all your goats and here's your gold. And we here, the government, we have more gold than all of y'all. So we're back in control here. Right? And then people are trading gold, and then back again, shit, we're not in control of this thing anymore.
Well, that was what the what was his name? Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
When he created the Federal Reserve.
And then it was, yo, give us all the gold. We're gonna give you money. Here's some like paper money.
Right.
And every dollar.
Well, not Federal, Wall Street.
Wall Street.
He created Wall Street.
And it was, yo, for every like gold nugget, you get $1. Every dollar is backed by a gold nugget. Y'all are good to go play Monopoly now. All right?
Monopoly?
Yeah, like here, go.
Thanks for the free park.
Yes, go play Monopoly now. Here you go, right? And then it was now people were, and then it at some point, because of the way Wall Street was going, the way everything was moving, we now ended up having more paper dollars than there was gold coins, and there was gold nuggets, right? And then it became, the value of the dollar is what we've told you it is. It's really just your confidence in it.
Yeah.
That's really all it became.
True.
It was just your confidence in whatever the dollar was. So they could just print out dollars left and right and all this shit. And then after that, we get into now what we see is like the digital era of just,
cryptocurrency.
Well, not even, it's crypto. It's everything is like a digital, digital transactions. Do you realize the government could literally go, like, it's just an app on your phone. It's not money backed by anything.
Nope.
It's just like an app on your phone that your checking account just says, oh, we're going to add in 1,000 in there. Happy pandemic.
Right.
And that's what we saw. They were just like, yeah, we're gonna give everyone $1,500. Go have a blast.
Go have a blast, and people did.
Man.
You know. People had a blast, and you know what the crazy part was when all that stopped. I saw so many repos.
Yo, it was two things. I think when the stimulus checks went out, when the first wave happened, it was people getting cars that they couldn't afford.
Cars they couldn't afford.
Right?
Boats.
So it was like
jet skis.
Yep. So it was like cars you couldn't afford,
ATVs,
all that shit. And then also it's a lot of seafood.
You know what? I got so sick and tired of Laquanda and them going down and taking all the lobster.
Yo,
every time I looked up, I was like, "Damn, I just want one lobster. I couldn't get one lobster."
It was that because it was all the seafood, and then because that's where it was during that time that you saw all of like everybody's like southern auntie was like selling seafood boils for like $50 a tray.
Hold on, pandemic birthed some beautiful businesses. Let me just say that I've seen dessert jars be developed. Literally, let me tell you something. Them dessert jars are everything. Get you a dessert jar. I got another plug for you. CTP Tasty Creations. That's Tanya Poole. If you want you a good dessert jar, she makes banana bread, banana pudding. Lord have mercy, the banana pudding is blessed. But anyway, but I saw some great businesses come out of the pandemic, which is a beautiful thing. But like, aunties, like literally, I just wanted to make my own Creole style crab legs. But when I went, y'all done took all of them.
Yeah, no, they took them all. They cornered the market.
They took the corn on the cobs, the potatoes, everything.
Yeah, they were moving that.
They didn't have no Old Bay seasoning.
Yo, you knew it was real when they were going to the seafood spot, buying all of the crab legs. And this is where you knew like. And these are all like decent, probably church-going folk. But they got some drug dealing minds. Because they would buy. I said it, because this is what they would do. Because you can't tell me this ain't. No, because you can't tell me this ain't dope dealing. If you go and you buy 10-pound of crab legs, right? And you distribute it amongst 15 fucking pans, and you add some corn, add some potatoes, and you sell that to re-back up, is that not cooking dope? Is that not cooking dope?
She's my trap queen. Let her hit the banjo.
That's cooking dope. That is literally cooking dope. Like, yo, hey, listen here, yo. If we get all of these, and we put them into these trays, and we just add it.
Well, they did the same thing with the dinners.
But that's what I'm saying.
When they were selling the dinners, the Sunday dinners.
Yo,
I saw so many chicken and fish dinners.
This is the equivalent.
Y'all don't stop them chicken and fish dinners, so I need.
This though was the equivalent to when like the Sunday dinners was like when Sunday dinners was like when you first started to like sell weed. And you're just like, you making your bread, whatever. But then, like, when you discovered, like, we could do seafood boils, that's when it's just like, we could make this crack. And we can make so much more money so much faster. We can make so much more money faster.
Desserts? What were the desserts?
Huh?
The desserts. What was that, Molly?
Yeah.
When they started the desserts?
Yeah. Because you can.
Yeah, they said, wait, okay, we can do the Sunday dinner, and then we can do the crab broil. That make more money. Wait a minute. Yo. People love dessert.
Because you know why? Because desserts and Molly, those are the party drugs.
Good night, everyone. I'm out. I'm out. My bishop's gonna see this whole podcast and be like,
my name is Dion Sage, and
Minister Moore.
Yo, but that's what that is. Man, you can't tell. Yo, I'm telling you.
You know what?
You can't tell me Sister Patterson ain't learned nothing from her locked up son.
You talking about New York's mom?
Like,
you talking about New York's mom?
Yeah.
New York's mom, Sister Patterson, looked like she's been selling some dinners out.
Yo, son, yeah.
That's right. You see her hands?
And
her hands look like it's been sitting in flour for like 20 years.
Yo, and boy. Man, I'm telling you.
Hi, Sister Patterson. Hey, Sister Patterson. We need a plate, though.
Yo, that's what I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's what it is. Y'all think I'm crazy?
Wait, can I ask a question?
What up?
Growing up in Spanish churches, do they make plates and stuff? Do they do dinners like that, like church, the good church Sunday meal?
Nah, I mean, like, not really. I mean, it's like it's kind of a thing.
Do you have like patalitos and
just be like food. It just be regular like what we eat. What we eat. Yeah, like. But it would
like the pastors outside cooking a big pot of sancocho or something.
But now you know what it is. So it isn't. It wasn't always at the church. It was like you go to somebody's house and they making some shit. Like they making some over there. You know what I'm saying? So like it would be like, yo, we go to church and then afterwards it's like, all right, like I'm going to my aunt's house or my sister's house or something, and they're making something for everybody after church. And I'll be honest though, like that's not a every Sunday thing. That's like we doing this. Because it's Easter Sunday, it's Mother's Day.
No, I mean, we grew up. My grandmother grew up. She cooked dinner every Sunday. But people didn't come. It wasn't like people didn't come by. But like when you had something like Easter, people
yeah.
But every Sunday when we got home from church, my grandma would get up super early, cook dinner. We go to Sunday school, and then at like 11 o'clock, she show up at church. When we got home, all we had to do was turn the food on, heat it up,
and it was there. Yeah,
and it was
you were good to go. Yeah, no, we ain't had that. We didn't do that.
And we literally eat that for lunch and then eat that for dinner.
On
Sundays. Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
I'm hungry now. I need some baked macaroni. If somebody's listening, can y'all send Dion and Izzy a plate? We need some baked macaroni and cheese, some collard greens, not red beans and rice, but we need some Spanish rice and beans.
Yeah.
Some moro. And if you can just throw us a fried chuleta.
All the fixings.
All the fixings, yeah. That's what we need. Yeah. All right, glory. Now we put that plug in for a plate.
Let's get it. Let's get it. What are we even talking about? A topic that we won't spend too much time on because you've already said to me, yo man, I don't really want to talk about this. But I mean,
you talk about Ye.
Yeah, I gotta talk about Ye. Listen. Ye is I mean,
Ye need an asshole.
Ye wilding out here. Like Ye is beefing with everybody. I don't know how much up to date you are with all of the beefs.
Listen, hold on. I'm gonna say this. We all know Kanye. And we know Ye has had a mental health problem for many, many years. Let me say this first, right? For many, many years, right? That's one. Even before he got with Kim Kardashian, we knew he had a mental health problem when he was doing that interview with Mike Myers and he was during Katrina.
Oh yeah,
you know, like he was like, and then
he was traumatized.
I don't like the way they're treating us, and then George Bush don't like black people.
Yeah, like he was. Yeah, like that man was.
He broke down there, but he's had episodes and episodes. I still remember his Punk'd. He was ready to go head up with them with Ashton Kutcher. You know what I mean? I'm Punk'd. But like he's had these episodes even back a few years ago when he was going to run for president, and he had said that Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. It was like, dude, like what are you saying? Right?
That's when the whole slavery was a choice.
Slavery was a choice. Things like that. So we've known this. I want to. Can I?
Talk your shit.
Can I come at Kim for a second?
Do it.
Kim, sweetie, you're very beautiful. You're very pretty. You know, you've had some beautiful, beautiful men. This is speaking from a gay man right now. Like Reggie Bush, good gosh, you had Reggie Bush. I was jealous. Chris Humphries, yeah, you know, he was cute, you know. Kanye had the money. Pete Davidson, though?
Yo, the fact that we live in a reality where Pete Davidson was able to get both Kim Kardashian and Ariana Grande in a lifetime is wild to me. Yeah.
Pete Davidson looked like,
all right,
I'll come out with can of syphilades.
Pete Davidson looks like the most like I could draw Pete Davidson from memory. Like he's just like a very just everyday kind of existence. But like I don't know.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who bought a house for his mom so he can live in the basement.
Yeah. That's Pete.
And that's where Kim, that's where you are now. You are in the basement. I'm sorry. Like I really don't want to focus on Ye because of the fact that we've been talking about Ye's mental health. And what I'm looking at, what I looked at is Ye literally having a total mental health breakdown. You're talking about he gave first, and let's be real. If Ye and Kim were just two regular people over on the South Side, we wouldn't even be talking about this. You know what I mean? Of course not. We'd be like, oh, look at these two dummies going at it.
But that's all part of this season on Earth. all part of this season on Earth.
But I'm just saying, like, I see a lot of people focusing on Ye when we already know Ye has mental health issues, right?
Yeah.
But we're not also talking about like where Kim also, in my belief, I think Kim also has some type of mental health issue, because of the fact that, hear me out, everybody. I know people who are like, oh no, don't come for Kim, don't come for Kim, but Kim literally had $1 million wedding and divorced the person in less than 6 months.
Fam.
Kim,
well, it's because her whole life it's a show, it's a spectacle.
Exactly.
That's what it's always been.
And that's I would question if she is mentally stable on that. And here's the thing, and the other part about it is the funny part for me with Kim is you go from Kanye, who has a mental health issue, to Pete Davidson, who is public about this mental health issues.
Well, and so here's my thing though. I think with Kim, I do feel like, again, their whole existence is carefully crafted and meant to be. It's meant to be entertaining because that's really like it's meant to be attention grabbing. It's supposed to be all of these things. It's supposed to be, I'm dating the person who got another woman pregnant and da da da. Like it's meant to be all of this for the reason of like this is what fuels the brand, right? And this is why people go to watch the shows. Like that's kind of the thing,
right?
I feel like what we're seeing right now with Kim and Ye is I feel like everyone that Kim has dated prior to, for the most part, Kim has always been the bigger star than all of them. It's always been her. So all of them, it's like, no, you got to play ball. You got to play ball with wherever it is.
Now you have Ye, where Ye.
You got Ye, Ye is this very just enigmatic existence.
I was about to say something.
Nah. And
Beyonce had the best album.
Yeah, like Ye doesn't Ye. Ye is this uncontrollable being. Like you just can't.
You know what? That's the only time I actually really rooted for his foolishness.
Oh, I was with it. You can tell he was like
he took that mic from Taylor Swift, and I was like, thank God, because I'm still. You know why I'm mad at Taylor Swift? Let me just say. Side note. Taylor Swift really remade September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And Izzy, you know how I am about my Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay? And it was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
She literally took that song and turned it into trash.
Yeah.
And that's a good song.
But, I mean...
Kanye did the right thing by taking the mic from her because nobody really wanted to hear her. Her album wasn't better than Beyonce's.
That's where, again, Ye being this figure...
We can do things like that.
He could do whatever. He just does whatever because it's like he's the one who like went to Def Jam and said, yo, give me $50 million or I'm gonna quit. Fuck y'all.
Right.
Like this is where we at. Like this is what I do. I don't care.
Ye's the same person that wore feathers and sat at a dang on piano, and I was like,
yo,
why does he look like? Why does he
made it work?
I said, why does he look like a dying pheasant right now?
Yeah, and he made that shit.
He made it work.
He made it work, and I think that's where I do feel like on the Kim end, there is definitely some like mental health issues with Ye that we're seeing like on full display right now. But I also feel like on Kim's end, and this is where I don't give women a pass for this. You know this man has mental health issues, and it's almost like you are like provoking those issues and poking at directly those issues. So if that makes sense.
And now I'm going to get a little serious right here. Like I've been joking and things like that, like and all this stuff, but I am an ordained minister. And one of the things that I do take serious is people's marriage. When you make those vows and you say for better or for worse, for rich or for poor, in sickness and in health, that's just not a mantra. That's not just something you just say. Like you got to take those vows serious. You know what I mean? And my thing is what I would love to have seen Kim do as a wife. No, my husband has mental health issues, and we've watched Kim in these past couple of years throw Kanye under the bus for his mental health issues. And I understand, yes, there's a lot of pain on her end having to deal with it. But if you don't want to deal with it, then you should have never married him because he had those same issues before you got married. And what you think they were going to go away?
But that's the burden of the black man in this country is that. You're not allowed to be weak. You're not allowed to have those feelings because that's why someone like Pete Davidson can say, I have mental health issues. There's things that I'm dealing with, all of this stuff. You could be praised for it.
But if Kanye would have said the same thing out loud.
But if Kanye does the same thing, or even conversely, Kid Cudi, who's always had his history of mental health issues that he's been, like always been public about, yeah, like you can and likely will get mocked for it at some point.
Not just mocked. How often Kid Cudi was so mainstream.
But it's you
know what I mean.
It's the treatment that you're gonna get afterwards.
You know what I mean. Kid Cudi was so mainstream. Come on, I still bump day and night. You know, I still bump that. You know what I mean. And then he talks about his mental health issues, and we don't hear it. We don't hear from him. So, and again, it goes again. And I am big right now, like on the race issue and understanding, like, you know, the disparities between race. You know, and I've always talked about that. Even when we were in college, I was like, Dion, leave that alone, blah, blah, blah. My friends would say, leave it alone, not talk about it. But now, like, literally, it's like, guys, like, we have to, because there are so many, the numbers of Black and Latino men that commit suicide from mental health issues, or the amount of Black and Latino men that are in mental health facilities right now is alarming. And why? Because of the fact that, one, we always have to be okay. Two, we're not allowed to have a bad day.
Nope,
and
never.
Three, we cannot show emotion.
Never.
We can't show emotion. We're supposed to bottle everything in. And you know what the sad thing is? You would think we would find that refuge within. And I'm gonna call out the women. I'm gonna call out the women in our community, the Black and brown women. Our Black and brown women should be, when they see a man hanging his head, instead of putting pressure on them, what needs to happen is, wait, baby, are you okay?
No, and I'll be honest, that's not something that happens all that often.
No.
And it's unfortunate, you know. But
it is unfortunate. So, like, for me, and on this issue, like, I didn't want to focus too much on Ye, because Ye is literally having a mental health breakdown. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this gives him a pass.
No, but
this doesn't give him a pass, because Ye needs to get that.
But there needs to be a level of understanding.
There needs a level of understanding. And Kim also, I mean, when are we ever going to put her?
Never.
Like, okay, so what? She can do makeup.
It's not going to happen.
So what? Her father defended OJ. So what?
It won't happen. I'll be honest. I don't think we'll ever. I don't know that we'll ever reach a point where anyone within that Kardashian bubble is ever held accountable for anything. I feel like it'll always be like, there'll always be just some sort of like a past.
Well, you know what? As long as I'm breathing, I don't care if I get canceled. I don't care if nobody wants to talk to me. I will hold the Kardashians responsible for their like period. Even though I can't do it physically and I'm a nobody, but I'm gonna continually talk about, say the same thing. And I've said the same thing for years, Izzy.
Yeah,
I've said the same thing. There's something, like, for me, it was when I remember watching Keeping Up the Kardashians once, and I said, something's not right here.
Oh, the
whole show is something's not right here
at
all. And when she got married to Chris Humphries, like, I'm listening to her, and she was basically like, I mean, Chris Humphries was a basketball player, but he wasn't.
He was. I don't even think he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't like.
Where is he now?
Yeah, no.
And we know he's not that old, because he was like our age. So.
Nah. Chris Humphries, if he was nice, would still be in the league.
Yeah, yes.
But
if
was nice. I think. I mean,
we do miss Lamar Odom.
We do
miss Lamar Odom.
Prayers to Lamar Odom.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that topic. And like I said,
there is, I will say, on the topic of Ye, and we'll leave it here. There is like a Netflix 3-part documentary on Ye. The first part of it just dropped, I believe, either yesterday or today, or like very, very recently, and I've heard it's amazing.
So could this be a publicity stunt for the documentary?
It could be. Honestly, like, the documentary, from it's all like Ye before college dropout Ye. Like, this is like literally him, like someone who just believes in his own genius.
Speaking of documentaries, have you seen Janet Jackson's documentary?
I have not.
You have to watch. Like, it's really really, really good. Like, I'm not saying surprisingly, it was really good. And like, literally, it's Janet telling her whole life of being the youngest Jackson. Yeah. And also, like, how when she first came out and all this stuff. So I would say, like, you being a dancer and an enjoyer of music, you know, literally, it's really good. It's really good. Because even when she did her first debut album and it didn't sell too well, they expected to sell well. And everybody was expecting her to be Michael. Yeah. You know, and
well,
everybody was expecting her to be Michael. And then she literally, when she came out with Control.
Yes.
like she was like, no, I'm going to do my own music and all stuff. And she said, you know, her mother and father really didn't like her that way in the beginning, but it's a really good documentary. You said documentary with Kanye.
I gotta check it out.
But right now, watch the Janet Jackson. Anybody out there, Janet Jackson Control documentary is like awesome.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
It's a 4-part series too.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest. I love a good like multi-part like doc, because I think so many documentaries like
are rushed.
Yeah, super rushed. You're not really getting into it. I feel that way about documentaries, and I also feel that way about like biopics. Where like I don't know if you've seen the Wu-Tang series.
No,
So Wu-Tang series on Hulu, they instead of making like a Wu-Tang movie, they were like, nah, like our shit is just way too robust to be a movie. We're gonna make it a series. Yo, so far it's like 2 seasons in, and like these motherfuckers still ain't famous. Like, yo, they are really,
you know what?
Getting into it.
Somebody was telling me about that. Like I remember a couple of my friends were talking about that series, and I just have not been able to watch it. I'll be honest, believe it or not, I don't get a chance to watch a lot of TV.
Same here. I don't.
And when I do get a chance to watch something, I have to binge watch it. Like I just finally finished. I did The Mandalorian, and then
Mandalorian's great. Yeah.
And then I did. I had to watch Boba Fett.
I still have to watch that.
Boba Fett is really good.
I have to watch that still.
And it sets up season 3 for The Mandalorian.
Bet. All right, say less. Say less. I gotta see that. That got me. Yeah, I gotta see that. Yes. I gotta see the Ye first part of that documentary, and just see more stuff. Sticking on to music, there was like a string of just absurdly lewd leaks. I don't know if you saw this. There was like 3. It was a 3-part because you know everything comes in 3s. It was Nelly. It was
Little Fizz.
Of course you knew. Yo.
And there's one more.
And Isiah Rashad. So it was Nelly. He posted some shit on his Instagram stories by accident. And man, yeah, that was wild. I'm not even gonna talk about Lil Fizz. You have fun with that.
First off, I don't know why you think I want to talk about Lil Fizz.
Bet. No, just want to
make sure. I heard that Lil Fizz did this, like, kind of had the same little the slip.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like trying to literally I'll be honest. I said, okay, I'm gonna type in Nelly and see what pops up, and then literally I actually seen the video, and I'm like, really, Nelly? You didn't do this by accident. You done posted a whole minute of you getting fellatio from this woman. Like,
man,
bro.
Yeah, it was wild. He was wild. Lil Fizz was wild. Isiah Rashad was.
But this is anything new, Izzy.
What the fuck are you talking about? What?
Anything new?
What world? And yo, the thing that made me. All right, so the part about this. There was just so many layers to it. First off, I will like preface all of this by saying, I never like Isiah Rashad is a rapper. From what I heard, he makes great music. I've never listened to his music. I've listened to a couple. Like I listened to like a couple songs that he's featured on. And I was just like, oh yeah, this dude's nice. But I just also think that like I'm at that age where I'm just like I just like who I like, and it's hard for me to like become a fan of a new artist that I've not like just. You got to catch me at the right time, and it's never happened. So Isiah Rashad had a video leaked of him as well. And he was dragged out of the closet?
I didn't know that.
Did you not see the video?
I know. I was not trying to watch that video.
Do you know what it was?
But it's not surprising.
Well, no one knew that he was like that.
I'm just saying it's not surprising. It's not. I'm sorry, Izzy. It's not like. Not saying sorry. Like literally in our community, in the LGBTQ community, like I tell people, the LGBTQIA+ community is probably the most by far diverse. The only letter we don't put in there is the D and the L for download guys, and they are part of the community. They are important to the community as well.
So first off, what I will say, because I do want to talk about this fucking DL piece. But what I will say about Isiah Rashad is I personally and I think I might have like said this on Twitter. I don't fucking care. Like, it's not my business. It is not like it is no one's business what this man's sexual orientation is.
It's not. But so I'm assuming somebody he was messing with ended up leaking the video.
Oh, 100%. It definitely.
And can I just say this? Can I just say this to my LGBTQIA plus family out there? When you get heartbroken by a man who's DL, what the hell did you expect?
Yo,
like, I'm gonna say like, like if he was married, if he's out here like not out the closet or anything like that, it's not for you to try to expose that person, out that person or anything like that. It's not your place, because we all were in the closet at one point. How would I have felt if somebody would have outed me to all my friends? How would I have and mind you, that did happen to me. Somebody did out me.
Shut the fuck up.
Somebody did. Somebody who was a really good friend outed me to a bunch of my childhood friends.
I had no idea how you got out. That's wild.
No, well, they outed and when they did out me, like I lost all trust for that person. I didn't want to be around that person or anything like that. But I could not imagine being a rapper or some type of celebrity and they're dealing with this themselves. And we have to remember, what people have to remember is like, I can remember back when I was like in the closet, and the reasons why I was afraid of coming out. The one main reason why I was afraid of coming out was because of my faith in God, my belief in Jesus Christ that I've always professed, always believed in, still to this day, and all that stuff. And because of the rhetoric and the rhetoric of society that gay men are weak, gay men are not real men, I still enjoy sports. What are you talking about? So I had that whole confliction. Gay men can't be masculine. No, I know. Go to Atlanta. There's some homo thugs out there that will whoop your ass.
Of course.
I'm just saying this. It's like, just don't do it. Don't out these guys. Don't out these guys. Let them come to terms with themselves. And at some point, it doesn't matter. It's not for you to decide when somebody should come out. You know what I mean? I came out when I was 23. You know what I mean? I was about 23 years old when I came out. At that point, I already had been sleeping with guys, and all this stuff. Definitely wasn't Izzy. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. Although Izzy did try to get these legs and thighs and breasts.
Stop playing. Stop playing with me, son.
Izzy did not do that. Izzy did not do that. But no, it's real. There are DL men in our community, and it's already hard for a lot of them to. You're so immature.
I'm sorry,
that was the best. It's tough for them to come out.
Yes.
It's tough for them to come out already because of the stigmatism of what being a gay man is. Yeah,
and I will say, I think for so I grew up with gay men in my family, so for me it's so and so is gay, cool, whatever. I've just never cared about it because it's never been my business.
And you know what? I would say this. Let me tell you guys this about your host. When I was in the closet and when I came out the closet, they did not change. So and let me to those of you out there trying to and I get this question all the time. Oh, my boy, he just came out. I don't know how to take this and blah blah blah. Let me tell you, if you love that person before they came out, they're still the same person. Even though one of my friends says, "Oh my God, you're doing drag now," and they ask me, "Are you transitioning?" First of all, no, I'm not transitioning.
Fam, stop. That's so wild of a question to ask.
I'm not transitioning. I actually enjoy being a man. I will be honest. I enjoy being a man, but also I like to
dress up and
push social norms. But what I'm saying is, to get back on topic, leave this gentleman alone. I'm sorry, I just say that. Leave this gentleman. Leave. It's none of our business.
It's not. Yeah, it ain't our business what Isiah Rashad is up to. I did it was trash that he was outed. It's yo, fam, Frank Ocean got to write a letter. Let people come out on their own terms. And for straight people, if you have a gay friend, I'll be honest, nothing should change because of the fact that the way that I see it is it's not like y'all like. So actually, no. This is what it is, and I'll say it right now.
Go ahead.
For any heterosexual male, if your friend comes out to you as gay, that does not mean they're attracted to you. Okay,
that is the worst.
Like
Wait.
that doesn't mean that they now think you're sexy and that they now want to get busy with you. Like that's not what that means, fam. Like I don't know.
Although don't get me wrong. I understand why some guys got one of my friends. He did say because he was hanging with somebody a lot and they were really close and all stuff. And the person came out and it ended up telling him that I really have a crush on you. So when I came out the closet, it's he said, listen, I gotta ask, you don't have a crush on me or anything, do you? And I was like, gross.
I mean, but I think that's where you just have to be very secure in your own sexuality.
That part.
And know it doesn't matter what someone else thinks. Mm-hmm. It's more about how you feel in your own skin.
Right.
And kind of making sure that you're just comfortable in your own skin. Mm-hmm. I remember one time, and it's one of my favorite. It's up there with maybe my top 10 best Dion memories.
It's a top 10.
There's definitely a top 10. There's definitely a top 10. But I think it was a fundraiser. I forgot. I don't even know what fucking campaign you were working. It was a fundraiser.
Was it the campaign that should not be named?
Yes.
Okay, that campaign.
That one. And it was at a gay club. Mm-hmm. Right?
Oh, when the Tres Royale was here.
Yes. That one. So we're over there and we're at a gay club. I'm there. I'm with Dion. We're
and we had our friend Carmen with us.
Yes, and there's a bunch of us there. And I remember someone asked about me to Dion, and Dion was just Dion said something to the effect of no, he's mine.
Yeah. I do that for all my friends when they go to the gay club.
And I told Dion, I'm just because Dion knows I'm perfectly secure in my in my masculinity, where it's just you 100% claim me if it means that someone's not gonna bother me, that Dion has just fucking metaphorically.
But now it's different because I don't have to say that. I'm they're with me, they're straight. Oh, they are. Yeah, is there a problem? They're here with me, and it's but also I would say the community has changed from that. Back in the day, I'll be honest, there was a lot of times I know straight men would get harassed. But now this generation coming up now, literally it's no, we want the younger generation coming up is different from our generation.
Yeah, I will say, I mean,
completely different.
Well, because I think the generation now, there's just so much more inclusivity is kind of the biggest thing about the community now. So there's less of that
right.
Because I almost feel before it was almost this perception of where it was a gay man would view it as hell yeah, I gotta turn a straight man into DL or something like that. I'm just yo fam, what are you talking about?
No, don't get me wrong. There are still those gays out there that thirst after straight men. My thing is this, and here's as far as me and I'm concerned. If you tell me you're straight, you're straight. Now, if you tell me later on down the line, well, I'm bisexual, okay. If you say, well, I discovered that I just only like men, okay. If you tell me you're pansexual, you're pansexual. Then you tell me down the line, 10 years down the line, you want to transition, I'm okay, it's your life. It's not anybody else's life. I was telling somebody the other day, when I look at my bills and I look at the money order to pay my bills or the card to pay my bill, it only says my name on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anybody else's name on it. Now, the minute that bill says somebody else's name, like my husband's name or something, then I have to consider what he says.
Yeah.
You know
Otherwise,
what I mean?
it doesn't matter.
Right. Otherwise, I ain't got time for you. I don't care about your opinion. I don't care about what you got to say about what I do in my life or how I run my life. And you know what? You know what the crazy thing? I had to have this conversation with my mother. I did. I said, Ma, I am old. And I said, Ma, I understand, because she was talking about me dressing up and things like that.
Yeah.
I need to think about her opinion. And I said, well, what about my opinion? What about the way I feel?
Yeah.
You know? And I literally had this conversation with my mother and had to put it in perspective for her. And then I finally said, Ma, I said, your feelings are valid, and I understand how you feel, but it's not about you.
Yeah. Flat out.
Now, when I was in college and living in her house,
yeah,
if she told me no, you can't do drag, I wasn't doing drag. But now that I'm not living in her house or her house, or I have to take care of myself, I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to do something like this. I always wanted to be androgynous. I always wanted to do this. I'm gonna do it. Even down to the point like I'm talking in talks right now of running a drag boot camp for young kids in the summertime. Because there's so many young kids coming out of high school already into drag. Why not? Why not? Why the frig not?
no. I'll probably.
It's mad queer. We use the term queer.
I will. No, I will say. I mean, I think part of me does say, I think I even said it earlier today. I was like, I wish you came out sooner, but I also feel like you came out again. You came out on your terms, kind of like as far as like when you told like a lot of us, it was like, yeah, like it's all about the universe, and you came out when you were supposed to come out. Because I do feel like then like if you came out sooner and you came out like, let's say when we were in like our early 20s and like acting, I'm like, who knows what version of Dion you would have been then.
You know what? And I think about that. I'm glad I did come out when I did, because at that point I did have some more life experience. I knew what to look out for and things like
grounded.
That. A lot more grounded. Because I'm gonna never forget the first time like dude offered me, some older white gentleman offered me money when I first time in the gay club to like go and sleep with him, and I looked at him like, yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, but if
if I was 18 and came out, I probably would have, because I was money hungry back then.
Yeah, man.
I'm just being real, y'all. Listen, I can come on Izzy's podcast and be real. I can't do this on my podcast.
I mean, I will say, I do feel like you would have made a very like, you would have been a very pricey prostitute. Yeah.
You know what? I probably would have.
I feel like you would have like, like, yo, you what, man?
I'm like, what? What are you talking about? 800? No, I need 16.
No, I need 16.
I need 16. Like, and you gotta fly me to Vegas.
Yeah.
Tonight.
And I only want green navigators. Only green navigators, please.
Sour Skittles.
Sour Skittles. Okay.
I hate that word moist. Oh my god. Wait a minute. No, oh my goodness. This is this church song, right? One time. Some dude, he did it. Let me just tell you guys, the internet's undefeated. I'm just like, the internet, like, I go to bed and watch TikTok or Facebook Reels, and the stuff that you see on there is hilarious. So I seen some guy, he's singing this very popular gospel song called Let It Rain. Yes. And there's a point at the end where it's like, the choir's in the background. It's raining. They keep saying it's raining. And the person's supposed to ad-lib. So he goes, oh, I'm moist. I'm moist for Jesus. I was like, whoa.
Moist.
Listen.
I'm moist.
It was on Church Laughs and everything. It was the funniest thing. Oh, so, like, literally, moist is hilarious. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Moist. Oh my god, just moist.
I remember this girl's nickname back in the day was Moisty Moist, and I was like,
I don't know who that was. And I don't know why. Nope, I'm not touching that. Not touching that piece right there, sir. On to some sports.
Yay!
In West Coast news, Super Bowl Sunday. The Super Bowl.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No. I was still hard from the defeat of the Cowboys.
You know what? Yeah.
Don't even get me started with the Cowboys.
I had picked the Cowboys to win. There's no need to talk about the Cowboys.
Well, hey, Izzy, there's always time to talk about the Cowboys.
Oh my God, we're not doing this. Not doing this one, sir. Did you at least watch the Super Bowl halftime show?
Yes, I did.
And what'd you think about that?
Some M fans are gonna hate me.
Oh my God.
I just don't think M should have taken a knee in Black History Month. I just don't think he should have. Period. I love M. I think M is one of the best lyricists. But I think sometimes people when the whole idea of taking a knee and don't get me wrong, a lot of our white allies do it, and things like that. But in the middle of Black History Month on the main stage, when you're asked by not just the commissioner, and that's everybody's focused that the commissioner asked him not to do it, but also the president of the Players Association, who is a black man, also asked him not to do it. So you have a black man asking you not to do it, who's president of the Players Association. You know what I mean? Just don't do it. You know what I mean? Just don't do it. You could have went without doing it. You being there was enough, you know? But then I feel like he did that as like, you know what, fuck what you guys say, because I'm Eminem, you know, and I've always defined everything. But now you're like literally, I'm like, I could have went without that. However, I felt my childhood all over again.
Yeah, same. I'll be honest, and like, I didn't even know. Like, I was so, because like you said, I like that was like childhood. Like, I loved every bit of it. I loved it so much. I didn't even realize when M took a knee, because it's like, yo, people are talking about like, it's like, yo, like M took a knee. I was like, yeah, M took a knee while Dre was on the piano. Who the fuck you think I'm looking at?
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I'm watching Dre on the piano.
That is true, but like, I did see M take that knee.
I didn't see. I'll be honest. I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it until the next day, where people were just like, "Oh, Eminem took a knee and yada yada yada." But he wasn't. He was told not to. And then I had to go back and watch the whole thing. And then I was just like, "Oh."
But I definitely got to put this out there. One of my friends, bowling friends, so you can just imagine.
Yep.
Said that a little less Mary and more Eminem.
Oh, bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. Sweet baby.
I said for me, the only thing that they could have did was bring Busta Rhymes up and just play that "Touch It, Bring It, Babe."
Yo.
They could have did "Touch It," and because everybody that was there has a verse on "Touch It."
Yeah.
Just about everybody that's there has a verse.
Yeah, I like.
And let's be real, Snoop can still freestyle.
Snoop could do anything. Snoop could do it all. Snoop, oh my God, he's like, Snoop is literally our like Rolling Stones.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he is the hip hop equivalent of the Rolling Stones. That's Snoop. Like,
I mean, he's got a show at Martha Stewart. Like,
people need to like, yo, give Snoop his fucking flowers. Like, that is literally.
Is he in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet?
Don't believe
he should be in the Kennedy Center Honors. He should also be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I don't believe so. I want to say no, because I know that like.
I mean, he survived Suge Knight. Let's be real.
Yeah, no. So let's see. Yeah, he inducted Pac into the hall. Yeah, no, I don't believe he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He is in the WWE Hall of Fame though, so I will give him that. All right, yeah, that's a thing. Enjoy yourself.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's
yeah,
fine.
no.
I only like the only time I really watch wrestling is when like,
don't do it
when Roman Reigns comes out.
Oh my God,
because he just
rain. Oh God. So yeah.
You guys should see Izzy's face right now. He's
like,
why he's rethinking this whole podcast. This might not even come out, but it's all right.
I mean, yeah. But no, Snoop is not in there. Yeah, and I mean, he needs to be. He definitely needs to be.
Diddy should be.
Well, and I never knew the rule for how that works. It's literally the way that the way your eligibility works for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is 25 years after your first release. Yeah, so that's why like Jay-Z got in technically as like first ballot, because he got in at the 25th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt. So that's why it's like, okay.
But Snoop you don't think Snoop has his first album is not more than 25 years?
No, I'm pretty sure Snoop is eligible. His first album
was the 80s, late 80s.
You see now, let me find it again now, because now I'm wondering when did Doggy Style come out?
I'm just saying it was the late 80s.
Let me see. Doggy Style is 93.
So it's 29 years old.
Yeah.
So he should be eligible.
Yeah. So he's eligible. He should, like, for all intent and purposes, he is eligible. There's no reason why he shouldn't be in there. As well as Barry Bonds in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I will die on that hill. But yes, so
Barry Bonds should be.
He should be.
Baseball Hall of Fame.
He should be. But yeah, the Super Bowl halftime show was amazing. It was amazing. The one thing that I do have to mention, and I made a note, and I don't do notes on this podcast that often, but this was a note that I was just like, I want to mention it on the pod, and I love that you mentioned her earlier on the pod, Candace Owens. Did you see what happened? But hold on, wait. Are you aware of any backlash that she's receiving in regards to the halftime show?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this because, let me tell you, it's fucking hilarious.
You guys can see my face right now.
They can't. This will be on YouTube.
Okay, good.
So, Candace Owens said that the halftime show was amazing. It was the best halftime show she's ever. Like, it was the greatest halftime show ever. It was hip hop and R&B at full display. Like, this was great. This was amazing. She praised it entirely, right? And she got the most amount of flack from her overly conservative following because they were all just like, I can't believe that you think this was great. Like, this was awful. There was they're trying to talk about diversity, but there was only one white artist. There should have been a rock and roll artist up there with them and all of this stuff. And
okay, you know what? Listen, hold on. Wait a minute. Stop the press. I'm going to say, just listen, hold on. First of all, I've never agreed with Candace Owens ever. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Candace Owens at all. I want to write her an open letter saying, please stop speaking for black people. But here's my issue with you white conservatives, okay? What would you guys want to see? Like Ozzy Osbourne biting off the bats of heads? What else do you want? What else do you want to see? Rock and roll was not in the 80s. The rock and roll that majority of you mother heifers grew up on was not wholesome. I'm sorry. Let's be real. Okay, that's one. Let's be real with that. Two, also, rock and roll is a black art form created by Chuck Berry, okay, and was stolen by white men. So if you want rock and roll, you want more black music. That's all you really want. And let's be real. Hip hop is derived from rock and roll, just like gospel, just like all the other like different genres. Like y'all literally get on my nerves because from the time Janet Jackson took out her titty until just about a few years ago when we had the weekend, y'all had nothing but white performers. And here we go, performers who literally many of you conservative people have blasted their music. Let's not play. Let's be real.
Yeah?
Y'all blasted their music.
Big time. Man.
Mary J, just fine. Y'all blasted that. Let's be real.
And now they acting brand new because it's the Super Bowl.
Because the Super Bowl. Oh, my kids this, my kids that, my kids that. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
But I did love the fact that like Candace Owens finally saying something positive about black people and hip hop received so much backlash because of the fact that her whole platform is based on never saying anything positive about black people or hip hop. So, irony strikes us all.
That's what we call irony.
Yes. And then our last bit of stuff to talk about, and this is, I mean, it kind of goes directly with the Super Bowl, which happened in Los Angeles. There is a crazy rise of violence in Los Angeles right now, to a point where, like, there was a tweet, like, leading up to Super Bowl weekend, I think Ice-T said, like, yo, y'all be safe in LA, because there's, like, 50,000 active gang members right now. Like, shit is wild over here. Like, y'all should just chill. And, like Kodak Black got shot in LA, like, the day before the Super Bowl.
And with that said, I have literally church members out in LA right now for the Powerhouse Church of Los Angeles opening this weekend. So I'm like praying that they have safety out there and all that stuff. This is and this is something that's sweeping the country, the uptick in violence. Even here in our own backyard, like we've had one of the bloodiest years last year, and we're already in, I think, close to double digits already with the year just starting. And for anybody that knows Providence, that's not really anything. We made national news last year with our first mass shooting, which what a mass shooting, right around the block from where I grew up in the neighborhood I grew up in. But I don't know what we can say at this point, Izzy, to be honest with you, because I literally. To be honest, I don't know what we can say about the violence. I have no idea on how we could literally fix it, because on one hand, the people say, well, we need more police, but on the other hand, people say we need more resources. And to be honest with you, I don't think either one is the answer. I think that it's man's own inhumanity to man. That period, like, I don't know.
I don't know that there's any. See, I don't know that there's really an answer to fix it. I feel like only thing that we can do is, as individuals, be do our best to be safe. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times I've seen instances of issues like that where it's just like, yeah, like it wasn't safe for you to do that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really just like, yo, like it isn't about being tough or anything like that. It's like, no, you gotta be safe. Mm-hmm. Be safe out here. We have to keep in mind, like, yo, we're coming off of like a pandemic that was like still happening. People were not outside, mm-hmm. and some of those people who were not outside are fucking monsters, mm-hmm. and they're like raring to make up for lost time. Mm. And I feel like that's what we're seeing a lot of. We're seeing a lot of like, yo, I was in the house for a year and a half, and that's why I haven't got my hands on you yet. Mm. But now I'm out. And now we're all out, and I'm gonna get you outside.
And like I've always said it, because like violence only really begets more violence. Excuse me. People retaliate, and when the retaliation happens, a bullet doesn't have a name on it, so someone who's innocent can get caught in the crosshairs or anything like that, and that's what bothers me about it. And don't get me wrong, as someone who I advocate for gun control. Yes, I am a licensed gun owner. I do have my 9mm. I do have it. I am a licensed gun owner, but I also advocate for responsible gun ownership. I also advocate for resources to be put in the community, because the other thing we know about gangs is a lot of times gangs are built by young people who don't have anything to do at all.
Or anything to lose.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So my thing is like this, one of the things that saved me was sports saved me from being in the streets. Not just that, working, being able to work, access to a job, not just the access to the job, but also, I'm going to say it, I feel like the teachers that we grew up with were a lot better than a lot of these teachers now. To be honest with you, I feel like I was talking about my grandmother who was a teacher. She said, there's certain things that she sees and hears that teachers take in their classroom that she would have never taken in their classroom. There's even with parents, there's certain things that parents now will take from their kids that our parents would have never taken from us.
Absolutely, yeah.
They would have knocked the taste out of our mouth. And I'm not going to sit there saying go beat your kids or anything like that. But to be honest, at some point, we the community, we the people, parents, neighbors, aunts, uncles, grandmothers, cousins, teachers, we have to take back our community. We have to take back the community from the violence. We have to sit and say, we don't want this in our community at all, and we don't want this in our neighborhoods. And how do we do that? By one, putting the pressure, and I'm going to say this real quick, put the pressure on your state legislators to release the money that they have just sitting there. Do you know there was $1.25 billion last year that the General Assembly did not want to use at all, that was COVID relief money, so they could put it into the general budget so that way they can dictate on what they can use that for?
Damn shame. Like
$1.25 billion.
Man, they still trying to chase me for student loans. Fuck out of here. Yeah, man. I think just, prayers. Like, be safe out here. Mm-hmm. Wherever you are, LA, Rhode Island, New York, wherever. Like, just be safe.
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are, really, really, like, if you're hearing this right now, just, really be safe, be vigilant, look out for your peoples. I think, look out for your people and take care of your children.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I think, honestly, like, whenever, whenever you're just dealing with gang violence, there's always, like, I always ask, like, where was the families here? Like, because it's really, like, a lot of times we lose a lot of young black and brown boys to gangs because there's no alternative for them.
So, and it's crazy. You just hit something, and two things just jumped right into my spirit. The generational curses, of people, well, my father was this, my mother was this, so I'm going to be this as well. We have to also at the same time speak into ourselves and speak to young people that you are more than a conqueror. You are more than what your mother or your father is. You know what I mean? Like I tell people, my parents didn't go to college. I went to college. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying to say that as a diss to them, but I said I didn't want to limit myself. We have to at some point do that ourselves as well. But literally, unfortunately, and I think that within itself is mental health. When you just look, this is I can't go beyond this. Yeah. I can't go beyond this corner here or this neighborhood here.
But I mean, and I think where to kind of combat that is, it's not always that thinking of I can't surpass this level isn't always just the
person.
child.
No, it's also the parent puts it on.
It's the parent.
The parent puts it on. I agree with that.
And I think that's where again you got to take care of your children, because I mean
I agree with that.
For me, and that's where I can think of whenever I think about that thing right there makes me think of my father. Right, my father came to this country, not speaking the language, still don't speak the language. Man been here for man been here over 30 years. He still don't know he don't speak it. He's just nah, fam, I'm good. I could survive on Broad Street. I don't need to speak this shit. Right? He was a butcher. Right? Humble butcher. Right? And he always instilled in me pretty much saying this is what I do so that you can do better. I do this
so you can do better.
So you could do better and you can be more. That's why my father was so proud. Izzy went to college. Izzy graduated from college. He got his bachelor's. He's doing this. He now, you know what I'm saying? He's doing all of these things and all you know what I'm saying? Is this a photographer? My father is he's proud.
But you said something there, and a lot of people don't get that. I remember when I was teaching in the high school, I had a student who really, really loved reading and writing. He did not like any of the other things, and a lot of it was because of the fact that when I taught the class and the way I taught the class, he was very excited. But quickly, I'll never forget during his exhibition, he didn't do any of the other work, which was bad within itself. But the one thing that he did his literacy, all of his literacy, every essay written. Every book that he had to read was read, synopsis, all that stuff. And his mother said, reading's not going to get you a job. Reading and writing's not going to get you a job.
No.
And it was that kid now is an English teacher.
Yeah.
That kid now is an English teacher. But why?
But again, it's because it's the mentality that is sometimes, it's a mentality of fear, scarcity, and lack. That people from marginalized communities have, to where they feel as though if you reach too far for the star, you're going to crash and burn. And I'd much rather you be here, because if you you can't crash and burn if you don't go up too high. There's no chance of it. It's not possible. Right. So it's kind of that feeling of just you say those things. It's it is it's in its very dysfunctional way. It is love. It's I don't want you to do that because I don't want you to get your hopes up, because I know what this world is like.
But I've said to parents, okay, so you got to explore the world, right? Yeah. Well, when's their time to explore the world? I think we have to get out of this notion. I'm not saying 18, a child's grown. I'm never going to sit there and say that.
No.
But we have to get out of this notion of trying to shield our children from so much. You know what I mean? You shield them. And I'm not a parent, so I you can correct me because you're a parent. You know what I mean? I'm not a parent, but I think you do teach that. If you have to trust that you teach your child right from wrong, and then when they get old enough, they make decisions when you're not around. That they make decisions. They hear mom or dad my parents didn't raise me this way.
Well, yeah, and I think that's where some parents, I will say, just parenting in general is one of those things you do it based on your own experiences, and you try to almost kind of compensate what you didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, what I can say is like because of my upbringing, like there were a lot of things that like I didn't get to do with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like playing catch and doing those kind of things, it was just like, yo, my man, I'm working. Like, and that's where like for me, like I mean, it wasn't like you don't really understand those things until you're older. As far as like, yo, like you know, like yo, I want to like, you know, and like when I did spend quality time with my dad, it was always amazing. So it wasn't like I was never one of those kids who grew up thinking my dad doesn't love me, but it was just like, yo, like I want to like just I want to kick it. I want to go and do fucking dad and son shit. So like that's where like with my son now, it's like nah, like I want to try to do dad and son shit with you, but like now I'm in that position of just like, well shit, like I work a lot. Like I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing all this, and I'm like it's to a point like if my son was here, he would have full understanding of what it is that this like what this all is, and he would not come out of his room. He'd be like, not like he'd be like, "Oh, Dad, you're gonna record your show? All right, I'm gonna go in my room," and like he understands the concept of like Daddy's working. It's no different than if he sees me on my computer and I'm like editing pictures, and he's just like, "Yeah, Daddy's working." But like, you just try you try your best to like do, but you again, it's that feeling of just like if you're someone in a position where like the world is just like just shat on you. Time and time again, you feel like, yo, like, the world gonna shit on my kid. I can't, I don't want to allow that to happen. I don't want them to feel what I felt. So, I mean, that's just like the struggle of parenting.
I guess, yeah. I listen, I haven't taken that step.
Will you ever have a child? Is that like a thing? Say it right now. Say it on the mic. Tell the people.
When I find the right one, I will adopt a child. One child.
Just one? Just one. That's the one thing too.
And I don't want a baby. I want a teenager that's been through some stuff. Like literally, like I feel like a lot of the kids that get lost in the system, once they turn 5, they get lost in the system. And you know, I would rather have someone. I don't like everybody wants the babies. Everybody wants the children under 5, so they can raise them. My thing is like friends of mine, a lesbian couple friend of mine. They have adopted 4 children. They're planning on adopting 4 children. Right now, those children are in their foster care. The oldest is 5. They have a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, and an infant. The 5-year-old, like literally, like, and I love the 5-year-old death, but she has some serious trauma from her previous be moving around and things like that. So people don't want to deal with that trauma with the 5 and up. And my thing is, those are the ones that really need us right now that are in the system because they get lost and then they turn into our down the line our danger, some of our dangerous people and things like that because they've never felt love from a family member, they never felt love from other human beings, and they don't know what it means to be loved. So
shout out to them. I love hearing that because it's true. Like those kids really do get lost in the system. It's super unfortunate. That is one thing that I kind of envy about the community. That y'all, it's like you go in there, it's like a kid Walmart. You just like pick a color. Like,
no. Listen.
What do we like?
No. But the truth of the matter is, there's more kids who are Black, Brown, Black, and Latino that are when they get in the system, they get lost in the system. You know,
it's unfortunate.
It's more of us. So like when people see, like, don't get me wrong, when I see a white couple with a Black or a Latino baby, people get mad about that. I love it because of the fact that they're giving that kid a home.
Yeah, I love it.
You know what I mean? Why are we sitting there focused on that? Like, be happy that this child has a home and they're not getting lost in the system. They're not sent to an orphanage or they're not sent to some type of group home.
I think anytime I ever hear people try to get upset about a white couple adopting a Black or a brown child, I'm just like, yeah, why didn't you do it?
Now, I will criticize those celebrities that go to Africa to do it. I'm going to criticize them when there are plenty of kids right here in America. There are over 400,000 children who are displaced in this country.
I mean, but I can't knock. I mean, I think the reason why I can't knock it when a celebrity does it is because thinking about like what that child has the opportunity to become and be able to potentially like do.
I'm not saying I'm not upset when they do. I'm saying there are children here in our own backyard in America that you can adopt, but they don't adopt because they want everybody wants a baby. They want the baby.
Oh, of course, but that's where like what I'm saying is kind of like, let's say if it's a very impoverished village, and that child who was adopted from that village and grown in wealth and all that stuff, like yeah, there's potential of that child being able to go back to that village as an adult with resources and be able to provide some level of assistance or anything of that sort.
I understand that. I agree with that. But I feel as though there are plenty of children here that literally we complain about. We don't like, conservatives don't want to issue more money or anything for these kids. Yeah. And they don't get adopted. That's my spiel. That's my spiel. That's how I feel. I felt like that for years when I used to see what's her name, Jolie,
Angelina Jolie,
and Pitt just keep adopting kids. I'm like, what about the kids in our backyard? Yeah. So yeah. Anyway. Jolie still got them lips though.
Oh my goodness, yo, I could not be happier. To have had you here.
Thank you for having me.
I think again, kind of like what you said, when you finally did come out to us, I think the only beef that was had on my end was more so just like, yo, like, A, why didn't you do this sooner? And B, why didn't you wait, and I wasn't the first to know. I was like, yo, all right, word. Like, but I mean, again, I always kind of credit your, like, where you came into my life. You're one of the people who planted the seeds for 18, 19-year-old Izzy to become who Izzy is now at like age 31. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like the tree that that now bears fruit for me to provide for my family. My God. You know what I'm saying? Were all things that were planted back then when it was, yo, Izzy, I'm working on this campaign and I really think you'll be great to like come and like work on these field operations with me and do these things, and like me being able to like yo, bro, like I literally I was able to, like, a lot of things that I was able to do stem from those moments and those opportunities that came from like our friendship and and quite frankly like mentorship in that sense, and I think that's where, like, for me, having you on was very important to me because it's like, like I needed to, I wanted to like make that known as far as just like, yo, because I mean, again, I also think that like we've taken such completely different paths in life, outside of the fact that you're like the Lord of the Gays, but like outside of just that,
Lord of the Gays. I'm gonna tell them that tonight.
Yeah, the gays.
I'm gonna say it right on the microphone when I do karaoke tonight.
Oh my God!
I was told tonight in a podcast I'm the Lord of the Gays.
Yo, like
tomato.
Yeah, right. Like, aside from that, but it's kind of like, yo, like making sure that it's like, yeah, like, nah, like I know, like for me, I take full pride in being able to set pride. Get it? Pride, because that's what y'all Super Bowl. But like, no, like I take
actually, our Super Bowl is
Is there like a big, like, what is the big?
I just think it's the Tony Awards, to be honest.
Really? Yo, like, I was like, yeah, like, what is it? Like, what is like gay Coachella? Like, what's the, like, what is
New York Pride?
Yo,
New York Pride is live.
The crazy thing about it that I've even heard about New York Pride. Like, I've heard.
Let me tell you something. It was so in 2019 they had the 50th anniversary of Pride, right? Yeah. And I couldn't go. I was supposed to go. I couldn't go because my grandmother's younger sister had passed on. Yeah. And so I ended up having to go to DC. But I knew it was New York Pride, and I said to my family, if we're driving down to DC, we want to leave early because they're going to be shutting down a lot of things, and things like that, right? They shut down the highway. Jeez. They shut down 95. You had to get off 95 and reroute because it was It was not just New York Pride. Because it was the 50th Stonewall, America Pride was there.
Oh my God.
It was that same day, and World Pride. That was also World Pride.
This it sounds like the Gay Olympics. Like
It was. It was.
Yo.
It was. And because New York, because of what happened in 1969, Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Brown, two trans women of color. I want to make this very clear because it's Black History Month.
Yes.
Gay history, Pride history is Black history. Right? Period. Marsha P. Johnson, trans woman of color, and Sylvia Brown were the first ones to say, we're tired of this, we're being tired, and decided to fight back against the New York police. That is the history of Pride. But Pride over the years has become so whitewashed, where to now, because we're in such a fight, I've noticed that they want to put the Black and brown people up front. But what I love about this generation coming up in the community is that they're not going to just be put out in the front. Yes, open the door, but let me walk through first. And in the past, what we've always had is white men have put us out front to take the hits, and use our voices. But as soon as the door opens, they walk up front and walk in and make the decisions. That's not happening anymore. And I'm happy that's not happening anymore. It's still a fight, Izzy. Don't get me wrong, it's still a fight. But I'm happy that the young people are recognizing it and saying, we're not going to take that. We're not going to take this anymore. So shout out to Mama Marsha P. Johnson and Mama Sylvia Brown for their Black history. It is Black History Month. And remember, Pride history is Black history because of them.
Yeah, I can't follow that. That's just bars, people. That's just bars, yo. And that's the one thing that I will say, I think, as far as like Dion with everything, and this is something that I got directly from my my friend who's trans, and I was able to I was able to know him prior to his transition, and it was like, and he educated me on just like
she. Is it pronounced she?
No, it's he.
He?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's he.
Just making sure.
No, it's he. It's my guy. And yeah, like he educated me tremendously on just like, just kind of like the dynamics of not just like, I learned a lot about not just what it is to like transition, but also just like what it is to like even come out of the closet and like really learn about that process just a lot more. And it isn't about you being a new self. It's about you being your true self. And I think that's where with you, I don't think you you before coming out versus after coming out, I don't think you necessarily changed who you were or anything like that. I truly believe that you've just been able to be more of exactly who you are. And I've loved every bit of it. Like I've and even again, I always sort of like, yo, like I don't care. You'll always be my brother. Like it doesn't change nothing for me. And I think that's where I'm truly just proud of where we are as men.
Oh my goodness.
I
remember meeting Izzy.
Man,
we had some great times together, and Izzy. Let me tell you something. Izzy, just like me, is a music lover, and there used to be one song we used to annoy everybody with. It was Michael Jackson, when "Who's Loving You."
Yes.
We used to annoy everybody with that song. That's just it. Listen, y'all, young people out there,
y'all don't know.
That song right there. When Michael Jackson hit that note, and I ain't gonna sing it, but he just said, "We," and it was like, oh Lord, go ahead, Michael.
Yes.
But like Izzy, like I'll be honest, like, and I'm gonna say this quickly, like I remember working on that first campaign when we didn't know anything or at all of how to campaign or anything like that. And it was a learning curve for the both of us. But what I really, really appreciated was the fact that we were able to put our minds together and take what we were learning at the time in school and apply it.
Immediately, yeah.
Immediately be able to apply it. And I'll never forget what our professor said. Shout out to Professor Orbone. At CCRI, she literally was like, this is amazing. You guys are taking what you've learned and applying it. And mind you, I was not a business student. I was an English major.
Yes, English major. I was an
English major in DECA.
Yes.
And I only wanted to be in DECA because
It was
My friends.
Yeah, like
My friends.
We were all there.
Yep.
Man, yeah, and I think that's where it's hard not to. It's hard not to be able to like have these bonds. You know, it's hard for these to like. It's hard for these to not survive the times.
You know what? The crazy thing, my grandmother said something years ago about her best friend, right? She said, and her best friend has passed on. And my grandmother said, you know, my best friend and I, we can go 2-3 months without talking to each other. And then pick up the phone. And she said, and like literally, it was like we never missed a beat. And I think true friendship, you can go a year, 2 years without talking to each other. Busy. You might have this little, hey, how you doing? Check-ins and things like that. But literally be able to sit there and say, you know what? Let's sit down and talk. Or, you know what? I haven't talked to Izzy in a long time. Let me pick up the phone, call Izzy. See how he's doing. And the next thing you know, you hadn't talked in 2 years, and now you're on the phone with this person for 3 hours, having a conversation, laughing from your belly, reminiscing about old times, catching up, and all that stuff. That's true friendship. Or you might see, like, I'll never forget when my aunt passed away. So many friends of mine came to me and
console. I mean, and that's what it is. I think that's like the beautiful part. Yeah, no, you gotta get. I know you gotta. You know, you gotta get to the. I know. It's like, all right. They're like, yo, where are you? We about to.
No, they ain't saying where.
Like, we about to like, yo.
No, they ain't saying where I am. They know when I. They know when I roll up.
Like we about to do Gaga. Like. Yeah, no. So I will let you go. So I'll do my quick toast. You already killed your joint?
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna give you a little bit. I do a toast.
Oh, I didn't know he did a toast. Listen,
I do. All right. Well, it's fine. I do a quick toast. So hold on. I have a toast that I say at the end of every episode. It's yeah. You can hold the drink up. So with that being said, some ships float, some ships sink, but the best ships are friendships, and to those ships we drink. Cheers. Thank y'all for tuning in. Come back next week. See who I have here with me next week. With that being said, peace, love, all the above.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Yay.